My kids are gonna see that, and I feel like that's when I get really stressed out and overwhelmed. I don't know, I just feel really weird like giving myself compliments. It's really weird. Kids are like sponges, like they'll take in so much information. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany if you're new here, and today I'm gonna be doing another mom talk video. You guys seriously enjoyed this last one, and I thought I would answer a few more of your questions. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me a bunch of questions, so if you're not following me on there, make sure you do that. I do post a lot more personal content on there, and you can kind of stay a little bit more connected with me on my Instagram. Before we get into the video, I just want to give a shout out to Holly Birch. You are our commenter of the week. So if you guys want to become the commenter of the week, go over to my Instagram and comment on my latest post. So maybe you'll be featured in one of my next sit down videos. So thank you, Holly Birch, for commenting on my last Instagram post. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. All right. You guys asked me a bunch of new questions, and you guys, man, like I never can come up with these questions. Like they're so good. So yeah, I'm gonna just jump right into the questions. Again, I don't really read these before I do these videos. I just kind of like do it off the top of my head because I don't know, it's just like more of authentic reaction or authentic answer. It's just a lot easier for me. I don't know. It's just because I feel like I'm just talking to one of my friends when I do these videos. So anyways, let's just get right into the videos. If you guys don't know this about me, I am not a natural speaker. I stumble over my words all the time. I repeat myself constantly. Yeah, I am just not naturally good at talking. I really struggle. So editing is magic. Let's just put it that way. What are some of your What are some of your favorite summer activities with your kids? I think some of my favorite activities, especially with Brielle, because she's at this really fun age, is we bought an inflatable pool for her, and she loves it. She loves playing in that thing, and she puts all of her toys in there, and I just kind of like sit and put my feet in there. I lounge, I'm spending time with her, but she's playing. And also bubbles is a good one. We love our bubbles. I got this bubble machine that blows bubbles on its own. I'll put the link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. And it's great because then I don't have to blow the bubbles myself and she can just enjoy bubbles. And that's really fun. We love going to the beach. I know I do. We have a lot of cool beaches around here, and chalk is another good one. Just for outside. We also do berry picking here. We have a lot of berry farms in our area, and so we go and pick berries every summer, and that's really fun for us. All that stuff. It's just one of my favorite time of year is summer because you can do so much stuff outside, which is great. What do you do to start giving solids to your baby? So Kellen actually just started on solids just about like a week ago, and he has been doing really well. So what I do with solids is I just use like, at first, I just use those little like baby food, like, what are they called? They're like packages. They're like a go-go squeeze, and you can just squish the baby food out. And I just squish it onto a spoon, and I just spoon feed him. I think I want to try baby-led weaning this time. I didn't do it with my daughter, and I think Kellen's really ready to just kind of like put stuff in his mouth on his own and really just discover food a lot more than my daughter was. That's how I kind of start, is, you know, doing the baby food and like spoon feeding him just to see how he likes it and stuff like that. And it's been great because it's freed me up to not have to just exclusively breastfeed him now. It's been great. I've been able to like do things when I couldn't before because I would have to nurse him and breastfeed him. So anyway, that's kind of how I kind of start. And I start at around about 5.5 to 6 months old. That's when they say you're able to do that. I start off with like rice or oat cereal mix. Some people don't do this, and that's totally fine. But I start off with that just to give him like a little bit of a taste of what real food can be like. And then I go and start with like those baby food packages. What did you do to teach Brielle speech as she got older? Honestly, I think because I talk to her so much during the day that she just kind of picked up what I was doing, and she just started talking on her own. I know that sounds kind of simple, but I would repeat a lot of stuff that she would try to say to me. Kids are like sponges, like they'll take in so much information. That's basically how I did it. I read her a lot of books, but of course every kid is different, and some kids don't really talk until they're around 2.5, 3 years old, and that's totally fine. For my daughter, she is like a little chatty Cathy. She loves telling stories and talks all the time. I love it for sure. For sure. I kind of talk to her, not like a baby. I don't do any baby talk with her just because she's not a baby anymore. Like I'll do it with my son Kellen because he's a baby and he loves that. But also with my daughter Brielle, it's like she understands when I have like a normal conversation with her. And I feel like that was like a good changer too, is just for her to articulate words because I was talking to her in a normal voice too. Potty training, how you're dealing with it with 2 kids. So Brielle is now totally potty trained. She was actually potty trained before Kellen was even born, if you can believe it. I am so thankful that Brielle was potty trained before I had Kellen, just because buying 2 sets of diapers is just so expensive. And I've thought about cloth diapering, but it was just something that I don't know, like I just really, it's hard for me to like kind of make that transition into that because it is an investment. But I mean, anyway, aside the point, she only wears a pull-up at nighttime just because sometimes she does pee in the night and she has had accidents in the night before. But nap time doesn't need a diaper, doesn't need a pull-up. She goes pee she goes pee on the potty by herself. She goes poo on the potty, like she's just so good. That transition was great to do before I had Kellen, because I feel like if I was doing it, you know, Kellen's really fussy stage, it would have been really overwhelming for me. But it is possible, don't get me wrong. But no, she's complete potty trained and she does so good. She always tells us when she needs to go. Of course, accidents still happen sometimes. It happens. She's just turned 3. It's okay, you know, but she's very bright, she's very smart, and so she actually kind of did it on her own. She was ready to have a little stool in front of the potty in the bathroom, and she just goes up and does it by herself. It's pretty awesome. How has your relationship with friends who don't have kids changed at all? When you have a baby, your life completely changes. It's just inevitable. It's something that happens. And you know, you do have friends that have kids and some friends that don't have kids. And with the friends that haven't started a family yet, of course, it's hard to get on the same level with them of where you're at in your life, because you're going through all these really intense, you know, big changes in your life, taking care of another person. It's hard for those people to fully understand what you're going through. So it is tough to connect on that level because they just don't fully understand, and that's okay. So of course those friendships have changed a little bit, just because it's harder to connect because you're going through all of this really intense stuff that it's not that you don't feel like you can talk about it, but even if you do, they don't fully understand what you're going through. They can be really supportive, and that's great, because I do have friends who don't have kids, and that's totally cool. I don't talk about my kids as much with them, just because, you know, that's not the stage of life that they're in, and that's totally fine, because we can talk about so many other things together. But of course, yeah, some friendships have changed, and because we're just not on the same stage of life. And that's natural, and that happens. It's kind of sad, but for me, I still try to stay in touch with friends who don't have kids as much as I can. I still do think it is important to maintain those friendships as well. Do you pump? And if you do, how do you store your milk? So I actually did an all about breastfeeding video. So I talk about this a little bit more in that video, so you can go check it out right here. All about breastfeeding, how I store my breast milk in the freezer and all that good stuff. So you can go over to that video if you're wanting to know the answer to that. How is breastfeeding a newborn while also having to tend to a toddler in the beginning? So of course it was hard because I have this crazy busy toddler and I have this newborn that wants to breastfeed all the time. So we watched a lot of TV, like a lot of TV. I would literally just sit on the couch the entire day almost. And we watched a lot of shows. And you know what? That's how we survived that season. And that's totally fine. It was really intense for me that time. And you know what? I don't have any regrets about that. And also too, like if you have people around you that can support you through that, by all means, ask for help. And also, you know, be like, hey, can you take my kid or my toddler for a couple hours just so I can have some like one-on-one time with my baby? Or, you know, you can take a shower while your other baby naps, things like that. Again, it's really great to have a support system because some of that. And for me, I didn't have a lot of support when I had Kellen. And so it was really difficult for me. So yes, We watched lots of TV. Okay, birth related, did you get any stretch marks and how long does it take for them to fade? With my daughter, I actually didn't get any stretch marks on my tummy, but on my breasts, I got a ton of stretch marks. Kellen, I only got like 1 or 2 stretch marks on my tummy. They're very small, but it did happen. Again, it does take a while for them to fade. And of course they start off like quite pink and quite dark, but as time goes on, they do get a lot lighter. Even my stretch marks that I do have, they're kind of like white and shiny and they're not as noticeable as they were before. The stretch marks that I did get with my daughter was when I was pregnant with her. So that was over 3 years ago. So now they're all white and shiny. So it does take a couple years for them to kind of fade. And also don't be embarrassed about them at all. They are just a testament of what you did to create life. And so that's really, really cool. But again, it does take a while for them to fade. That's just my experience. I know everyone is different, but that's what happened for me. How do you manage to find time to give both of your young kids attention that they need? So this is probably the one thing that I struggle with the most about being a mom, is because a lot of the time I feel like I don't have enough hands to be there for everyone. And especially for the expectations I put on myself as a mom, I feel like I don't have enough time or enough hands to do everything. And the fact is, I don't. I really cherish the time that I do get one-on-one time with either of them. Brielle is kind of transitioning out of having naps. Sometimes she'll nap, sometimes she won't. Sometimes the kids nap at the same time, sometimes they don't. So whenever I have one-on-one time with either of them, I make sure that I spend that time really pressing into them. So when Kellen is napping and Brielle's awake, I make sure that I do spend a lot of one-on-one time with her. And you know what? I have done in the past where I've just gone out of the house with one of my kids and had someone else just take Brielle or Kellen and just gone on a little date with one of them. And I find that that really helps too, because as they grow older, I know it's not going to change where they need that one-on-one time. I don't know, make time to spend time with them one-on-one, like intentional time is kind of how that I have done that. I know as a mom, like I'm not going to be fully enough for every single one of my kids. And for me, that's where, you know, Jesus comes in and really gives me the identity that I need, because if I'm placing my identity in the things that I can do for my kids and I put all that weight on myself, my kids are going to see that. And I feel like that's when I get really stressed out and overwhelmed. I am a Christian, and so for me, that kind of is it is the biggest thing in my life, and everything kind of circles around that. So for me, I just really realized that, you know, I don't have to put all that pressure on myself, and that I can just really give that stuff to God, and that really helps a lot with that too. How do you get yourself out of a bad mood and or funk? Sometimes I'm snappy and I don't know why. I have bad days, guys. Like even this morning for me, like I felt super overwhelmed because I have so much to do, and I kind of get overwhelmed with that. And just kind of like with my past answer for my last question, that's kind of how I turn my day around. I really pray a lot during my day and just being like, Lord, you know my heart, you know how I'm feeling, Lord, like I'm just gonna give this to you, and I'm just gonna be thankful for what I have here. I find that changing my perspective, instead of being overwhelmed by all the stuff I have to do or the stuff that isn't going my way, I just sit and be thankful for the things that I do have, you know, and being like, oh my gosh, like there's so many dishes, or the house is so messy. Changing my perspective and be like, wow, like I'm so thankful that there are dishes to do and that there are toys on the floor, because it means I have little people that I am blessed with to take care of. Like they have been entrusted to me to take care of, and I'm so thankful for that. So I find just changing my perspective that way can really change my mood during the day. Yeah, prayer again is just something that has really helped me. And I think also too, like just talking to someone about it and being like, hey, like I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm having a bad day, and just being able to verbalize that, you know, to someone that you love and you trust is really good as well. Like, you know, I'll call my mom or I'll talk to my husband about it, and, you know, they'll give me a hug, be like, you're doing a great job. Like, don't worry about the small things. It's going to be okay. And like, you can move on with your day. And I find that verbalizing things really helps, especially for myself. Yeah, I find, again, just coming back to being thankful, being content with where I'm at, because I know it's just a season. I'm going to miss a lot of things about these days too. How did you incorporate tummy time with Kellen since he was already so fussy? Kellen did not like tummy time when he was a little baby, but I made sure to do it at least like a minute or two during the day. Even if he didn't like it, I would put him on his tummy regardless, even if he was crying, because I knew it was important. And it doesn't have to be a long period of time. It can just be, like I said, 1 to 2 minutes. So now he really enjoys tummy time actually, and he actually will roll onto his tummy and will be there for quite a long time now because he's a bit older. But I find establishing good tummy time is really good at the beginning because it gives him, you know, good neck strength and core strength. Yeah, I just did a little bit at a time. Even if he was a little fussy, I just kind of like did it for him because I knew it was gonna be good for him. And my last question of this video, I know it's getting a little bit long. Sorry, it's really hard not for me to ramble because I really love doing these videos and I love talking to you guys. My last question is, tell us something you feel like you do really well as a mama. And this feels weird for me to like, I don't know, like to say, be like, oh, I'm really good at this. I don't know why, but it feels weird for me to give myself a compliment. It's hard for me to think of something too, which is weird, but I'm just being honest with you guys. I think something that I really do well is just making sure that my kids' like physical needs are met, seeing the importance of who they are and their personalities and being able to give them what they need when they need it. I don't know if that's like as specific as I'd like it to be, but I feel like I know my children and I feel like I do a good job of meeting their needs, not only physically, but emotionally. I don't know, I just feel really weird like giving myself compliments. I don't think there's anything wrong with being proud of yourself, but for myself, I don't want to be like, I don't know, I just feel weird. Anyway, I hope that you guys are proud of yourself too as moms because it is really hard, but like for myself, I don't know why, but it's just hard for me to say good things about, I don't know. Maybe it's an insecurity thing, I'm not sure. But anyways, that is where I'm gonna end today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this mom talk video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please let me know. It seems like this is a really good opportunity for you guys to get to know me a bit better and for me to just sit down and chat with you guys because I really do enjoy this. So anyways, thank you guys so much again for watching and we'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.